Hello my friends. Yesterday I spent the entire day at the Art Düsseldorf 2025 and honestly I'm still digesting the experience. I had some expectations, see some interesting works, maybe snap a few nice photos, have a good times with friends, but what actually happened went far beyond that. I found myself genuinely moved, sometimes confused, sometimes even slightly uncomfortable in the best way possible. Art has an incredible way of getting under your skin, and that's exactly what happened. Some of the works were stunning, almost meditative in their beauty, while others felt like a direct punch in the gut. It was as if every piece was quietly whispering, "You're not just here to look, you're here to feel." What struck me the most was how many pieces revolved around themes of isolation, societal disconnection, and the fragile state of the world today. There was this unspoken thread throughout the exhibition that felt both universal and deeply personal. You could almost feel the artist asking, are we really as connected as we think we are, or are we drifting further apart? And honestly, some of those pieces really made me pause, not just to think, but to feel a knot in my stomach. It was uncomfortable, yes, but also necessary. Because, as the old saying goes, art doesn't have to be pretty, art has to move. And it did, again and again. I wasn't there alone though. I spent the day with two close friends, and that made everything even better. There's something about experiencing art together that brings out the best conversations. We found ourselves constantly stopping in the middle of an aisle to share thoughts, sometimes laughing at something unexpected, other times getting into surprisingly deep discussions about life and what it means to be human in these strange days. One moment that still makes me smile, we were looking at this incredible picture, and I just stood there staring at it and said, honestly, this is exactly how I feel when I come home from work. And we all just burst out laughing because it felt so perfectly accurate. There was this chaotic energy in the piece that mirrored that end of the day exhaustion so well. Art really does reflect life, sometimes a little too well. But it wasn't just humor, there were moments of silence too. Moments where we stood together in front of a piece and no one said a word. Not because there was nothing to say, those quiet moments felt almost sacred, like shared thoughts hanging in the air between us. I also have to admit I probably went a bit overboard with the photos and the video clips. Every time I turned a corner, there was something else I just had to capture. Sometimes it wasn't even in the main artwork, but a shadow, a color, a little detail that caught my eye. I'm going to try to include as many of those shots as I can in this video because they really help to tell the story of the day, and if I can't squeeze everything in, I'll definitely link the rest of the photos and the clips elsewhere so you can experience the full journey with me. One thing that really stayed with me was how the fair showed such a broad spectrum of emotions and ideas. Some works felt like visual poems, delicate and reflective. Others were loud, messy, almost confrontational, as if they were demanding you to feel something, anything. And somewhere in between there were those subtle pieces that quietly tugged at your heart without you even realizing it at first. We ended up talking a lot about what art is supposed to do. Should it always carry a message? is beauty enough, or is the whole point that it makes you to stop and think whether you understand it fully or not? Personally, I kept coming back to this thought: art is successful when it stays with you long time after you've left the room. And so much of what I saw yesterday is still with me now. Also, quick side note for anyone planning to visit an art fair soon: wear comfortable shoes. Trust me, your feet will thank you later. We must have walked miles, and by the end of the day I joked that my aching legs were their own performance piece called Survival of the Strolling Art Lover. But jokes aside, this day wasn't about art, it was about connection, about spending quality time with friends, sharing ideas, seeing the world through different lenses, and realizing that even in the midst of themes like isolation and disconnection, we are never really alone in what we feel. So if you ever have the chance to go to Art Düsseldorf or a similar exhibition, don't hesitate. Go in with an open mind, let yourself get a little lost, let the art challenge you, make you smile, make you wonder, make you maybe even a bit uncomfortable. That's when it's working its magic. And whether you come out feeling inspired, puzzled, or simply glad you went, I promise it will be an experience worth having. Because at the end of the day, both great art and a great friendship share one beautiful purpose. They remind us that we're human and that we are all in this together. Oh, and if you enjoyed this little journey with me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more moments like this, more art, more inspiration, and of course more real-life reflections. I'd love to have you along for the next adventure. Goodbye.